What? Already? I thought I had 5 minutes. All right.
Nope.
Okay. How's everybody doing? Great to have you here. I'm John Zidar. My lovely co-host is Taylor. Hi, Taylor. How you doing?
Hi. Hi, doing well.
We
Good to be
missed
back.
you last week. We missed
Yep.
everybody last week. I was solo last week. That's
I
right.
know. I tuned in a little bit and I
I
felt
seen you
so bad.
peeking your nose in. I thought you were going to pop in, and I was waiting for you.
I tried. Couldn't
I
do
had
it
a
through the
couple all
phone.
set up for you too, but you never came, so I drank it. It's all good. No
Okay.
worries. Well, folks, it has been one heck of a day. There's been a lot going on. I've got a list of stocks from a list of our followers here. It is great to see you people coming in. I see you coming in early. Kashira came in really early today. It was just afternoon. She had her pick. It's up there. Actually, she's got two picks. We might be able to get to both of them. You know how that goes. I know you said if I had a chance to get to it. Big Money Grips is here again. I got your ticker up there, friend. Ravi. Hello, Ravi. Have you been here before? I don't recognize you. But I got your ticker. I recognize that. Jerome Horace, you thought I was going to skip it, huh? You put your ticker in there twice. I didn't skip you, buddy. Dino, we got your Jag X as well. Snookaroo, you're right on time, buddy. Get yourself a seat there. We saved a spot for you. Jake, hello to you too, friend. Great to have all of you here. And those of you that come in, I know you're not going to hear me talking to you now, but if you watch the pre-recorded, you know what I mean. When you watch it later, you'll see me saying, hi, glad to have you. So I've got some stocks lined up that you have given me. Those are the ones we're going to look at. That's why we're here. So let's jump on into it. Now, keep in mind, folks. I got to. Thank you, Taylor. It's nice to have you back. I forgot to hit the button. That was Taylor taking my back for me there. Keep in mind, folks, we've only got so much time to look at each stock. So obviously, we're not doing a deep dive. We're skimming across the tops. Those of you that get your tickers in early, and most of these have come in early enough that I was able to do some diving around. I've got to say about half of these stocks haven't got much information. And that's kind of aggravating for a guy that's doing research. I want to bring you something. And when I can't tell you nothing but the finances and the share structure, well, you could have done that yourself. And I know you're looking for me to give you something. I may call myself the wizard, but I cannot create miracles. If your stock has been down, I can't show you any light. If you haven't seen it, chances are it just isn't there yet. So with that in mind, remember to always do your due diligence behind me. I'm not going to cover everything, and I may make a mistake. I may get some old information or miss something. If you bring me a ticker, if you know a catalyst it's got going on, put that on the table with the ticker so that I know what to look for so I can focus in on that. I can hype it up for you. All right, first one we're going to jump into here does come from Kashira. This is ticker CMGO, CMG Holdings. Not familiar with this company. She finished today at 0029, and she was up almost 7.5% today, jumping 0002, which it's a jump. It's not much, but it's a push. She's on the pink tier. She's current. We've got one piece of validated information, the transfer agent. The other one we want to look for is a verified profile. Now, I can't tell you exactly the information that's covered in all of that, but it's verified by an unbiased third party, the OTC markets. And when you're trading pinks, you don't get any validated information. They're the riskiest stocks you're going to trade. So look for those green ticks. If you get stuck holding it, as day traders, you should be in and out quick. But if you get stuck holding it, you'd at least like to know it's got something going for it. So let's start with the information I did find, and then we'll look at the general information. So what is this company about? Well, they tell us they are a full-service marketing and communications holding company. Their mission is to build a national platform of exceptional companies that deliver solutions in the areas of alternative advertising, social media marketing services, event management, and commercial rights. CMGO owns and operates two wholly owned subsidiaries, XA and the Experiential Agency. Well, that's actually two. Oh, XA is the Experiential Agency, and then Lincoln Acquisition Corp. So what did I find about this company? Well, actually, You look over here at the news, that's from 2020. That's old. We got nothing here. Coming on over to the disclosures. These are your two primary points of information. You've got a 10Q. You can go through the most recent quarterly. I did go through this. I couldn't see anything that jumped out as being new or fresh. I didn't see anything the company's done new since 2022. I mean, they're in business, they're doing it, but there's been no mergers, joint ventures, acquisitions. There's been nothing like that since 2022. So what I did find, I went over to Google actually, because I couldn't find any news anywhere. They pointed me over here to Twitter. Now we are at the company's Twitter account, and the most recent tweet came out November 14th. This isn't recent, right? And they were just talking about their 10Q coming out. But as I was here, I saw this back October 16th. I know we're going further back, but we don't have anything to look at current. I don't know what to make of this. It's like half the tweet got put out. Manufactures women's wear and is owned by a giant in the clothing business. We hope to share additional details concerning our other venture shortly. Patients will be rewarded. And that's it. I mean, there's no other tweets, there's no news, there's no filings. And like I said, are they alluding to an acquisition, a joint venture, a facility they're buying? I have no clue. The only other piece of news I'd read somewhere, and I'm not sure, I was trying to find something, was that XA, that one subsidiary, has been doing well in revenues. They've been growing pretty well. So what was the relative volume around the company today? Well, something's up. She's current. She should be on the market, but it says there was no volume today. Now, that doesn't mean she's off the market. Believe me, I own 130 stocks. It's a long story. And out of those 130 stocks, every day, there's got to be at least 30 or 40 of them that have no volume, not a single trade on them, but they're on the market. The volume is low on the markets, folks. What was the total volume today on the OTC? Up here in this corner here, 4.2 billion. Now, maybe that sounds like a lot, but there are 12,300 companies dividing those 4 billion shares. And every now and then you'll get a company that does 1 billion shares. That means the other 12,345 got to divide those up. So the volume is low, and I don't expect all the stocks to be getting volume right now. But today, she got nothing. Let's see about her financials. Well, they're making money and they're making profits. It's kind of all over the board, but it has been growing over the last 3 years, going from 140,000 up to 2 million. And they got to keep 500,000 of that. Quarterlies, well, they've dropped the last quarter about 50% from 319,000 in June down to 146, but they are still bringing home profits, not in any desperate areas there. Their assets, well, they've got 102,000 in the bank. In case you forgot, there are 3 zeros on any of the numbers we're looking at that we've got to add. So if I confused you back there, that's how I knew it was those numbers. Assets, we got 1.8 million. Liabilities, 1.3. So we got about 500,000 in assets, equity in this company, which is good. We're not holding a bag here. And I do believe that's all we really had, right? We've looked at the disclosures in the news and everything. So even with going to Google, I could not find any information to even share with you. So that is all I can tell you. Why she's actually climbing right now, I don't know. See a lot of stocks climbing for no apparent reasons. And there's nothing wrong with playing stocks like that. You don't even have to know anything about the company to invest in a stock. Trade a stock. Day traders are playing momentum. We only need this chart to be moving. For whatever reason, it doesn't matter. If you're an investor, you need reliability over time. That's an entirely different thing. So when we're doing research on day trades, how much do you really need to know? It doesn't hurt to know the catalyst. It doesn't hurt to know the share structure, but do you really need to know the financials? Do you really need to know about management? Not as a day trader. Not really. All right, enough's enough there. Let's take a look at the chart for CMGO.
Okay, hopefully that'll work. We got a new layout now. So,
big chart. I like that.
yeah, we changed the layout. So,
yeah.
Okay, so this is the daily I'm starting out with. So I'm just looking at a few key levels because there's not, we're in the double zeros, but it's not the huge amount of movement that we're used to seeing when it gets to these lows. It kind of consolidated here around 21, and like you said, it closed at double zero 29 or 27. I mean, yeah, obviously that's a gain, but it's not one of these that's you're going to double your money right away. So this 0031 level was really important. I saw this hit several times as a support. It broke through that. We came all the way down. There's a couple more levels here. And then it came back and now it's resistance. Now when we break through that, we might be able to get back into this 004 area. Right
It's
now,
not
I
a
mean,
bad looking yearly chart. That's looking promising.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, it is,
exactly what I
especially when
look
you
for when I want to talk about a stock.
mhm.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah, and this is quite amazing here on the 4 hour. Look how many crosses we have. And
Oh
they're
yeah.
all in order now.
Yeah, it's like having three turbos on your car.
Yeah,
Vroom, vroom.
it's perfect. So we've got, the 9, 21, 50, and 200. They're all lined up perfectly. The amount of volume that came in, you said it was low today. That was from Tuesday that high volume was coming in.
Yeah, there was a
So
lot of hard volume
that's what
before.
that's what started it. But it kind of started earlier in the fall, like in October, we started getting this, and it tried to bounce. People took their profits, and
Oh
it
yeah.
came back down. So yeah, there's the 4 hour. Let's see what it looks like today. This is the 15 minutes. So we'll look at one day. This is gonna look. Oh gosh, sorry, I'm not used to. Okay, so this is from like Tuesday until I don't know why Thursday or Wednesday's not. This is strange. I don't know.
Probably because there wasn't a lot of activity on the prior days, and today there was.
Some of these OTC one. Oh, plus I have this. Its data's delayed too on it. So anyway, I mean, we do have a lot of green bars. There were, a huge jump from volume where it normally is. It did, level off and go back down to basically nothing, but it is moving, between around 25 cents to, or 25 cents, 0025 to
Easy
0029.
done. Easy
I
done.
have not looked at a chart in several days. It's been a while. I've been doing a lot of traveling and
Actually,
stuff,
that
so
that that shows a little bit of promise there.
it does. It does. I do like it,
Hitting
especially on
that
the
resistance
4 hour.
high. Yeah. She's
The
one to
4 hour.
watch. I don't know why we're watching it. That's the question. But again,
Mhm.
when you're a day trader, technicals really are more important than anything else. A hot chart matters. And this
Right.
is got heat. We don't know where it's coming from, but if you can warm up next to it, put it on your watch list. It may come in handy. But if you find anything out, drop a comment underneath here. Maybe I missed something and you can share it with everybody else.
Right. I even looked around at these earnings. There's nothing really to report. You dug into the financials. There's nothing to see in there. I didn't see any stocks or stock splits, reverse splits, or anything like that. So there was really nothing else that I could see chart wise that the information that TradingView is giving
Except to
me
say the chart
besides this.
set up. You can
Mm.
see where it broke out right
It
up underneath the 200. So, I
right,
mean, and that's what I tell you. A lot of these charts don't even need a catalyst.
right.
Everybody's watching a breakout setup, and that was perfect. And boy, look
Hmm.
at her launch. So she may
Yep.
come right back down to that 200 now because it's not exactly flat. It's still got some decline to it. So
Hmm.
I wouldn't bet on it continue on. I think it's going to dip more, but she has reached those highs. So she's one to watch because once she comes down, she could
Yeah.
bounce. But again, if you don't have a catalyst and it was about technicals, it's burned that catalyst. That's
Right.
over now.
So that's about it here. I'll go ahead
All
and
right.
mark that down that we looked at it. Okay.
I'll let you bounce me over. Next one we got here is BRGC, Bright Rock Gold Core. This is a mining company. Another one I'm not familiar with. I do know of a lot of lithium companies in the United States. I've covered a bunch of them. Sad part is none of them are making revenues. we've only got one lithium mining company in the entire US, and there's a lot of lithium mining companies. Silver Peak. Silver Peak's been around for over 100 years. Closed down in the 1940s because the town burned down, and then it opened back up in the 60s. And that's the only one producing lithium, and it's owned by ticker ALB. And I think the last time I looked at it, I don't know if it was $80 or $180 a share. So being the only lithium company active, it's doing real well. Well, this company is in the same boat. All these companies are ready. I mean, they have located the lithium. They just keep finding more lithium. It's like, well, since we can't mine, we'll just keep exploring. And they keep putting more effort into finding and honing in on where they're going to start as soon as they get the green light. So Bright Rock Gold finished today at 42 cents, dropped about 4% on the pink tier. Got both of those green ticks, looking cool. They tell us that Bright Rock Gold Corp is a lithium exploration company focused on developing its flagship project. You got to love this name. Revival of the Midnight Owl Mine. Previously known in historical records as the Lithium King Mine. It is located 13 miles east of Wickenburg, Arizona. Bright Rock Gold holds 100% ownership and interest in Midnight Owl Mine, along with an adjoining 5,000 acres. They're working with pegamite, which is rock. You know, it's not water. You're not sucking it up out of the ground and putting it out to dry in these big aquifer desert things. You're crushing it and you're extracting it in a whole different way. So what information have I got for this company? Well, it looks like we got the news here. We got a lot of old news here. And how old is it? Actually, it's not real old. That goes up to December of 2023. So there's quite a lot of news here. And what you're going to see with these lithium mining companies are pieces of news all following each other about more and more exploration and what the results are. Just getting more and more. So there's no need to go from the back to the front. Just look at the most current ones. The two we've got here, one came out on the 18th. Continued interpretation of the hyperspectral imagery collected by Spectre LLC reveals another potentially larger and wider spodumene deposit running parallel to the previously announced large spodumene deposit. We may not understand all the words, but we see they've gotten something big. They found it. Whatever it is, that's what they were looking for. Sounds good. And then they tell us here that they're working with another area. And I did jump into this. Matter of fact, I got a picture. I forgot. This is that imagery that they're using. They now can use satellites and airplanes, and they put these certain sound waves and frequency waves upon the ground, and it bounces back. And just with color, you can see what minerals in the ground. They can find gold, they could find lead, and all the red here is lithium. That is a new discovery that they are verifying. And they've got some more area over here. Well, as I said in the news, they tell us they've got the second piece of property, the historical Blue Eagle Group. The company is delighted to announce and share the first look at the Blue Eagle Group with their investors. The Blue Eagle Group is located on the southern tip of our American Antimony project. Now, they say down here something about the antimony deposits of Nevada. Now, I'm going to presume that's in Nevada. I have seen some silly names down in that area where things aren't in the state you'd think they are just because of the name. But this sounds like it's in Nevada and not Arizona. They tell us down here, we're thrilled to present the Blue Eagle Group video to our investors. Right here, it's in the news. So if you're interested in this company, this is a video they're presenting to you about this next project that they're working on while they're waiting before they get the rights to mine. And I do believe that is all the news and catalysts. Taking a look at the relative volume, she's up a wee bit, about 20% roughly, from 50,000 to 60,000. Share structure, about 330 million outstanding. Insiders look to have about 140 million. We get the rest, 190 million. An average float, you can't complain too much about an average float. Financials for the company, well, they're not making any money. No lithium mine company is except ALB. How about their balance sheet? Well, that's scary. They got nothing in the bank. Where's all your money? Well, they ain't got much assets either. Only $500,000 in assets. Really? And total liabilities, only $674,000. So we're down 128,000. But I mean, these are such low numbers that they don't have any debt for all the equipment that they own or anything. They don't have, it just seems a little light to me to be considering as an investment. But then I haven't done a deep dive. I don't know anything about their properties or anything, except that they got 5,000 acres and all that. Outside of that, I don't know anything. Oh my God, look at all the Form 4s. I didn't look at this page to tell you the truth. Now, that's a good thing. Okay, we may have catalysts here. This is the CEO. Form 4s are filed whenever the insiders acquire or dispose of the company's stock. They can do that in a lot of different ways. But as day traders, as traders, we want to see purchases and sales. Those are the most vital. Well, there's lots of different codes. There's only two we need to look for: a P for purchase, an S for sale. Anything else you may want to look at, but it really isn't about us. Well, this is the CEO. He made a purchase on November 2nd, 50,000 shares. But look at how many we got over here. Now, they're all going back, but maybe on a regular basis, CEO, 32,000 shares. So this may just be something he does on a regular basis every single month. Well, there's a couple here. I mean, it's good to see another 55,000 shares by the CEO. So not that it looks like there's a catalyst or anything, but it is always good to see an insider buying. And he's buying on a regular basis. He's building up. He's scaling up his holdings. Whatever the price is, he's buying on a regular basis. That's a good sign. I mean, he's putting his money in more and more and more, even though I don't see any reason to do that. And the guy on the inside would know if this was a valid investment. So that's about the only lead I can see here. Outside of that, it's on Taylor. Let's take a look at BRGC.
Oh, it's on me. Okay.
Yeah.
Do I have the right one up this time? Okay. Okay, so this is BRGC on the daily chart, and it's kind of interesting because there's been some catalysts, obviously, because it just will pick up in volume and then kind of die off. It's doing like, it's just kind of going up and down. I've noticed this area kind of between this is very approximate, like 30 cents and 39 cents seems to be like an area of a decision or consolidation where it's either going to break out of that or in this case fall down through that and then until we come back in here. Right now we're at the very bottom. It did hit this bottom. It closed up at about 43 cents today, looks like. But we did hit the top of that. I think if we can stay above that, it could run some more, but it's going to need some news. There's no real information that I'm seeing. I did see some stock splits, some reverse splits, but that was way at the beginning of the chart, like way years prior. So that's not relevant. It doesn't really matter.
No,
so that's what we're seeing. Let's drop it down to the 4-hour and see how that's looking.
She's going sideways the hard way. She's got some activity.
It is.
Sure. I mean, there's some nice bounces in there, but
right.
why bouncing? Unless it's every time the insider makes a buy. Oh, there's another insider buy. You get a run.
Right. Yeah, and I noticed.
Look at the chart.
Right. I noticed on one piece, the first piece of news you were reading, the date on that was December 21st. Mm-hmm. And you can see where it started running before that news. So this is a classic buy the rumor, sell the news kind of thing. That's exactly what happened because after the 21st.
She looks like she's in the zone of bouncing, though, doesn't she?
It is. Yeah, it does. It does to me. So that's the basic overview of it. We're not even in this consolidation area. We're still above it. So that's a good sign.
If it goes down into there, you may want to take concern. Right now, it's at least worth watching if you have an interest in this stock for whatever reason.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is the hourly. So this is what it's basically been doing for the past, since the middle of December. After that news came out, it came down from 62 cents to a low of 37 cents. So, look out because these are, you can lose a lot of money that way. So just keep an eye on this when it gets into this area. Be cautious, because if it breaks through, it's gonna fall again like it did back
Warning,
several.
Ray Robinson, danger.
Yeah, right now it's just kind of going sideways. It's not really, it hasn't really done much since uh the last
Well, then let's move
week of
on.
the
I'm not
middle
going
of
to talk
December.
about a
So let's
stock
just
that ain't doing
move on
nothing.
from that.
Sideways is
Right.
almost as bad as down.
Right. Yeah,
Especially if
there's
you're
not
playing
much else I can
options.
say.
You got me up. I'm ready. I'm ready. All right. I can't remember who brought this up, but we've got SNPW. I can't remember. This is Sun Pacific Holdings Core. She finished today at 0063, fell a little bit. She's down 3%.
Yeah.
She dropped 0002. Not much of a drop, but it was a drop. Again, we got another pink current. Only got one piece of validated information, the transfer agent. Now, I'm just putting this out there because me and Taylor were talking about it before the show started. Where are you guys bringing me these stocks from? Are these from your portfolios? I don't ever bring you stocks from my portfolio. You would think I would. It'd be a great way to do it. I bring you stocks that I think others can make money on. I'm hoping you guys will bring us stocks. You've just given me 6 stocks. If you had brought me 6 stocks that I didn't share, now we'd have 6 more hot stocks to share with everybody else. You know what a hot chart looks like. Then you want some information? Bring me that ticker because you found a hot chart. What can you find on this? That's what I'm hoping for here. A lot of these companies aren't giving us any news. I've got nothing to report to you. And I feel I'm cheating you if I can't give you something, but it's not my fault for picking these tickers. So we are looking at Sun Pacific. She is a solar company. I've got some information here. I had to actually go over to Yahoo Finance to get information. I think we can get this right here. Sun Pacific Holdings Corp is a green energy company specializing in solar and waste to energy technologies, with a focus on deploying its subject matter, expertise, and experience in green energy solutions. Sun Pacific operates several subsidiaries, including Sun Pacific Power Corp, Street Smart Outdoor Corp, National Mechanic Corp. They are headquartered here in America in New Jersey. So, as I said, just to show you what we got, there's the news, 2019. There's nothing here. Jumping on over to disclosures. The only thing we've got is the quarterly reports, recent, and that's all the way back in November. So we've got nothing here. So I did some diving around and I found they do have some news, but it ain't current, but it's something. So this is over here at Yahoo, and this most recent piece of news is from June of last year. That's as close as we get. SNPW wholly owned subsidiary Sun Pacific Power executes exclusive distribution contract. Well, all right, this is, this can be going on for years. Distribution contract with, on behalf of their partner, GEP New Energy. The contract is set up for 2-year period. So, it's old news, but it is going to be affecting their financials right now. SNPW will launch its own product production of the 1.2 gigawatt manufacturing facility. Well, there's something to be looking at too. Scanning. The other piece of news I saw there, just up underneath it, quit bouncing on me. SNPW wholly owned subsidiary Elba Power Corp executes a $2.9 million property purchase. Is this going to be for a facility? Has executed a contract to purchase the property of Elba Al for its solar manufacturing property for the sum of $2.9 million. Sun Pacific has also obtained an inducement resolution from the state as well, 100% tax abatement on the property sales. That's really good. That's some good information we're reading there. The state has approved an inducement resolution for $50 million and a 100% tax abatement on sales and use tax, which will save us millions of dollars for our equipment development. Folks, that's how Tesla got big fast. It was from the government's money. Even in years that Tesla lost money, they were up. Their revenues were way up because of all the free money that he was getting in tax credits. Every single car he made, even though he wasn't selling them, he was getting something for. Then when he sold them, he got something more for. So he had money to play with well in advance of earning it. And that's what this company is doing. These green companies can get a lot of free money in the front door, which can help them explode and grow. So this old news is telling us they've got a lot of money sitting around on the table. They've got new contracts. We just heard about a facility that they're working on. So even though we don't have any current news, we do have some catalysts going on in the background. Relative volume for the company was down about over 50%, dropping from 2.3 million over the last 30 days down to a million. Share structure, well, look at that. Outstanding share count is high. It's 974 million, but it is almost tapping out the authorized share count of 1 billion. They're right up there. They're going to be diluted. They're not going to have anything to work with. If they did need money, God forbid, they did a public offering to get it from us, they don't have a whole lot of shares there. If they wanted to pay themselves, if they wanted to buy more shares themselves, maybe, if they wanted to do a deal, they can use this as currency. They're almost bankrupt from their bank account. Speaking of bank account, let's go take a look at those financials. By the way, their market cap right now is 6.3 million. Financials, they're down right now, aren't they? They're usually closer to 300. This is the lowest they've been in 4 years, 265,000. But goodness, how do they bring home that much profit? 248,000 only cost them $16,000 in this sort of business? I'd need to do some more research to find out why. Oh, well, the money stopped coming in. They didn't have anything at the last quarter and only had $23,000 the quarter before. This isn't sounding real good. You know, revenues are a sign of activity. You're not making any money. You're not doing anything. Balance sheet, well, they got 20,000 in the bank. I doubt that's going to cover anybody's paychecks. Total assets, 44,000. Really? God. Total liabilities, 3.5 million. So we got 3.5 million in deficit. The stockholders are holding a big, heavy bag here. We've already looked at the disclosures. So there you go, folks. Her financials are bad. Her assets are not great. She's got catalysts. She's got contracts. She's got money coming in, grants from the government. That is all good. So one would expect that the bad we see here should change, but we're not seeing it yet. Maybe the next annual report that comes out. I am looking forward to the next financials. That's going to be a good season, all those annuals coming out. All right, Taylor, what does the chart look like for SNPW?
Okay, so I'll start with the daily chart. So this is probably why it was brought to our attention. And you were asking, why are you bringing these stocks? So here's what's been going on. So
Okay, I sit corrected.
so
Wow.
they saw this run from the beginning of the year on. So we had an interesting, this was last spring. It just kind of consolidated here, and this is between about 0065 and 0075. Kind of stayed in this area until just completely dropped off. There's nothing else to read around here. I didn't see any other stock splits or anything like that here. And then once it got to this area last fall, or this past fall, kind of consolidated here, tried to break out a couple of times, and then we've just had positive volume and positive, you know, a big run ever since the beginning of this year. So if we drop it down to the 4-hour, you can see now this kind of looks like a bull flag here. We could absolutely see this come right back up through this.
That's almost a solid 300% run from the start of that surge to the top.
Right. Yeah. So wow. Yeah, this zone here is, as if it's not clear on the screen, this is about this is approximate 0015 to 0026.
Yeah, I
area,
just and then about 25 up to 75. Throw those zeros out of there. We got triple the money.
Yeah, about 25 up to 75 and beyond. It actually went up to 85 at the high, and that was this past Tuesday. Just 2 days ago.
Not a bad dip. She didn't come down too far off of that. That's less than 50%, and she's right on that. That's looking nice.
Mm-hmm. So all of the EMAs are lining up. We've got the 9, 21, 50, 200 is almost completely flat now on the 4-hour.
Do you know when their next financials are? Do you have that information on your chart?
This is all I can bring up.
Because there's got to be a reason she's taking off now. I mean, again, look
There's
at the
nothing
chart.
brand new.
You've got the technicals. She was in the position to break out. For no
Mhm.
other reason, we cannot find a current catalyst. And this is what I stress over and over in my videos. A hot chart takes precedent over hot news. You can get a fire burning for a long time without adding any new fire to it. And if the wind blows just right, that fire will build up with no new information. That's two charts we've seen taken off with no catalyst, but the charts were set up. Man, what's all that?
Yep. That's about it. I mean, this is a good one to watch, especially if we can hold above
What's the
75, 0075.
what's like the 15-minute look like on that?
Okay, so 15-minute looks like this. Still pretty full flag-ish.
Yeah, I'm looking at that 50-day. She was bouncing very hard on that 50-day, all the way up until she broke free. Getting into your zone there that you got grayed out. She came back down underneath the 50, and you can see she came back up, hit her head on it, and now that's the battle. She wants to get over that 50. All the other SMAs are starting to turn around. She took her dip. Now she's looking like she wants to start the battle again. And it is an uptrend. No matter what you say, that's an uptrend right now.
Oh, absolutely.
So, yeah. So, and she's coming back into that hot area that you got zoned out. So she's definitely one to look at, even though we don't have a current catalyst. The chart looks nice.
Yeah, like this one. Yeah,
like
be
that.
looking for this one to hold above 0075, and we can maybe see some more run out of this.
Yeah.
That's about it for that.
Thank you for that one. Yeah, don't think I was chewing out specifically this stock. Oh, why aren't these? I'm saying from an information standpoint, God, I like to find a reason a stock's running. But as you are seeing, and these are great examples, maybe this is the reason for the show. You don't need a catalyst for a hot chart to run. And every day I show you atypical breakout charts. And that's what we've been looking at here, folks. Our atypical breakout. You waited on me. Atypical breakout charts. 200-day SMA coming down fast and furious, starts to level off into the parking lot so that the price can break through. Price is deep underneath waiting for an opportunity, and it won't do it if it's falling. You jump up there, you just slide back down. Every time they start to get level, that's an opportunity, less resistance. We've had two great examples of that. All right, we did look at BTX. Let's get rid of that one and open up RSPI. RESPETC. All right, no, that's not it. That's it. RSPI finished today at 0015. Ooh, lots of drop today. She went down about 12%. Another pink. She is current. We've got one piece of validated information. Transfer agent, no verified profile. All right, so what have I got here right off the bat? Well, just what the company's about. That's sad. Respire RX Pharmaceuticals is developing medicines for the treatment of psychiatric and neurological disorders, including epilepsy, pain, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, recovery from spinal cord injury, obstructive sleep apnea, a lot of different things. The Respire RX Group holds exclusive licenses and owns patents and patent applications or rights thereto for certain families of chemical compounds that claim the chemical structure and their uses in the treatment of a variety of disorders, as well as claims for novel uses of known drugs. So they've got a portfolio of patents that if they can get the right science behind and prove them, they could have some products in the line there. All right, so why don't I have anything here? Let's take a look at what we got over in the news area. That's from May of 2022. All right, I got nothing against old news, but you can't go back too far. We got two pieces of news here. One came out in December, one came out in January. That's pretty
What
current.
about, sorry, John, what about May of 2023?
I would have to go over to disclosures to see if we had anything there because they don't give us anything in the news. Yeah, I've got, we got a 10Q that came out on the 22nd. On the 15th, they filed a late notice. A lot of times you see these stocks run when they say, we're going to be late filing our financials. It's like, why are they running now? Financial came out 7 days later. And we've got on the 24th, an 8K that came out. It was a material definitive agreement with Viridian Capital Advisors, a letter of agreement to perform services. $35,000 deposit, total fee $45,000. So that wasn't a very big deal. So between the financials and the late financial, maybe she jumped for one of those two reasons. Here recently, the company announced agreement with Ponto Ventures to drive business development with Will Clodfelter as Respire RX's part-time senior VP of business development. All right, so are they getting new management or are they making a joint venture? We'd have to dive in here. They've got another company and another person here. We'd have to see what's going on. And then this is pretty strong. Respire RX announces the publication of a case report in which KRM2, their drug, totally suppressed epileptic form activity in brain tissue surgically removed from an epileptic patient. It sounds pretty serious. You had to do brain surgery, right? I mean, you don't remove brain tissue without being in there. But whatever it is they're doing, it's helping the epileptic person. It sounds rather extreme, but it is good news. So we got any disclosures over here to consider? We just looked at all those disclosures, didn't we? Yeah, we did. All right, so let's go take a look at the relative volume. We're up from 32 million to 35 million. Share structure, we got over 500 million outstanding shares. No clue what the float is. Yeah, you can't count on that one. Normally it's way old, the float. I know they tell you it, but I don't count on it if it's too far back. So our float could be anywhere up to 500 million, could be considerably less. Market cap, just under 1 million. Financials for RSPI. Oops, we got nothing annually. We got nothing quarterly. No money for the company. Ooh, ain't got much in the bank either. $6,000. Not much in assets. $108,000. Oh my God. Look at those liabilities. 12 million, 12.5 million. And we're holding it. It's the shareholders that got to cover that. $12.2 million we're holding right now. Ow. All right. I don't think there was anything else to look at. We covered everything here. All I can say is that last piece of news sounds pretty serious. Anything that can help people with epilepsy or any chronic illness or condition is always a big deal. So let's see what the chart for SPI looks like. Is it another wild breakout chart?
It is, yes. And I'm wondering, that's why I said May of 2023,
I
because
think you guys conspired to me. Let's trick him today. Since he's not doing charting, he won't see none of these charts.
this is why I asked. This was Tuesday. Wait, let me make sure. Let me go back to the daily chart. Sorry. This is the daily chart. Sorry about the movement. I'm trying to figure out. Okay.
Quit apologizing and just move it.
So this was May 30th of last year, 2023. We went all the way up to a high of 0.0192. So almost two full cents.
You got roughly 1,000% gains right there.
Yeah, that's
give or take. You've got 1,000% run. In how many days? Like about a week?
Let's see. It started out, I would say, we'll say
about 10 days.
0025, or just that day.
It looks like about 10 days.
Yeah, there were several days.
The sad thing is, we like to point out, it went 1,000%, but we take gains when we see them. For me to sit around for 10 days watching it get to 1,000%, probably not. No way. I didn't have the patience. Hopefully, I had the intelligence to sell early, because you never know when it's going to come down. But if it comes down hard and you took a gain, get back in if it starts running again. Nobody says, because it's too expensive now. If too expensive was a problem, you'd have never got into Netflix. Once you got out, it just kept running. And you'd say, it's too expensive now. It's not going to go up more. You never know. That's incredible.
This came crashing completely back down because it closed that day at about 0.01, and it went up to 0.02. that day. So that was like 100% from the high to where it closed. But it went from about 0.03 to all the way 0.02
Right, a
almost.
thousand
So
per
that's
percent.
a heck of a run.
But it's
But
so far
that was in May. All
May,
right.
right?
So
And we
so
didn't.
let's
Oh,
look
right.
currently. Hmm?
So we don't know if it was the financial or that little $45,000 deal. I've got to
Yeah.
bet it was the financial. I'd go look at it now. Of course, it could have been running before the financial in anticipation. Very well could be, and I expect a lot of companies this next quarter are going to be running up before the financials.
Yeah. So just recently we've had this huge increase in volume, so you can see it clearly. I
Yeah,
mean, this
that's
is a
looking nice.
huge increase. So we were sitting around this
Perfect.
area for a while, like 0009 to 001, 0013, all the way up to 0043. And that was in the end of November. So that was just a couple months ago.
And that to me
Um,
looks like a perfect indicator that she wants to break out. When I see her go from the bottom of where she's at, her full bar goes up to the 200, and then she spits out a wick like a snake does her tongue way over the 200. That pulls the 200 up, giving her an opportunity. It makes it flatter. So when I see that run and then she comes back down, that's the time to put it on your watch list. You can see this is another one of those atypical breakout charts setting up, and
mhm.
she's getting ready to run again.
It does look like it because, we came up here, we came back down, kind of tried to break out. I would have liked to see another higher wick to get another high here.
Well, you got a little W there,
But
a little
yeah,
winner W.
exactly. That's what
Head
I was
and
gonna say.
shoulders.
It came up and we're rounding back out, and we do have a higher high here. So that's good. So watch this level here. I noticed that it was a good consolidation
Oh, yeah, we're
area.
right at that point.
So we're right at that point, and it came down to here a couple times here too. So
Yeah.
I like this area. Just watch it because if you're in this and you get in here and it goes down to the very low, that is from 0017 down to 0006. So that's more than uh 50% loss. So look out. You don't want that.
See, that's why Taylor's on the show. I never give you worst case scenarios.
Well, I'm just saying,
I know I'm saying that's good
yeah,
because you can't have it one sided. You really need to know what you're risking. And
yeah,
that's what supports and resistances are for. You find that zone you're going to work in. And if it breaks out of that zone one way or the other, you should have a plan of action one way or
have a
the other.
plan. Exactly is what I was saying. Like, have a
Yeah.
plan to get out of this before it does bottom out again, because we've seen this. It could just keep doing this. Um, just look out, like set a stop loss. Don't lose 50% of your investment, even if it's just a little bit, just so you know. And if it does start breaking out, please sell on the way up. Please do that. There's a
Yeah,
lot of
little.
people,
Sell
yeah,
some. You don't have to
sell on
sell
the way up.
everything.
I
Sell
mean,
some and don't worry about how much you're losing. The point isn't to get as much as you can. The point is to get more. Just
yes,
get more. Forget about getting as much. That's what kills most traders. Get
green is
more
green.
and you're successful.
Yeah, green is green. Start selling on the way up. Sell, and if you want to leave a run or two, go ahead. But
So what's the short chart look like on this?
that's how you secure your profits, is selling on the way up.
What's the 15-minute look like on this for our
Okay,
traders?
sure. Here's the 15
Got
minute.
all these charts looking good. You guys really did do good. I apologize for what I
You
said.
should.
These
You
are
owe them an
beautiful charts.
apology. These are not
Yeah,
bad.
I'm liking all these charts. I don't like the research, and that's the problem. I could have found these charts, on the scan, and then I'd have gone and looked for catalysts. And since I didn't find any, I wouldn't share them with you. That happens all day. I get lots of them. But as you can see, you don't need a catalyst.
No, you don't. So that's why these were brought up.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
trying to
learning.
break out here.
they're teaching me. Yeah, she's taking a hard dip there, but there's a lot of volatility there. There's a lot of
Yeah,
bounces.
that's not too bad. That's not too bad. That's very, very close to this line here.
Yeah,
That's
she's in the zone of where the activity is at. So we're just watching for more bounces and another lunch.
right.
And I do like the 200. It's finally starting to curve up.
Mm-hmm. On the 15-minute for sure it
Yeah.
is. Okay, so
Okay.
nice one. Thanks, Belmore.
All right. Am I up? I
Yep.
is. So we have got Jaguar Health. This is on the NASDAQ. Woo, we got a major exchange penny stock today. She is at 10.8 cents. She was down almost 6%. These penny stocks on the major exchanges, some of my favorite to trade because there's just more benefits. They're free to trade. There's no transaction fees trading penny stocks on the major exchange. You can trade pre-market, after market. No special permission or requirements needed. Just get in there and trade. Just make sure to change your period of time for your order. It's not a day trade. It's an extended period or aftermarket, pre-market. You got to get that in there or it won't see it. Plus, without a doubt, there is a ton more volume on the major exchanges, folks. I found a page that shows me the top runners on each market, and I was looking at the volume on the OTC. Yeah, some of them had some good, strong volume. Then I looked at the NASDAQ. They were a minimum of 10 times the volume. Minimum. Some of them were 100, 200 times the volume. Regular stocks that we're playing through the day. It's just the major exchange has a lot more liquidity than the OTC market. And what else do they have a lot more of? Money. There's a lot more people willing to spend it up there. So, what is this company about? Jaguar Health is a commercial stage pharmaceutical company focused on developing novel proprietary prescription medicines sustainably derived from plants from rainforest areas for people and animals with, oh, right, it's this stock, gastrointestinal distress, specifically associated with overactive bowels. Which includes symptoms such as chronic debilitating diarrhea. You can't leave the house. You are housebound. Urgency, bowel incontinence, and cramping pain. Boy, what a crappy situation this is. So they've got drugs that are helping with this. And, is all the jokes they make about it, it's not funny. I mean, it's painful. And I know this is off the thing, but Michael Jackson, this was one of his problems. I don't mean to get into it much, but he had chronic diarrhea for years and was dehydrated and died from it. That was one of the causes. It is a serious thing. So what did I learn about this company? Well, did I get anything besides the news? Oh, yeah, I did. All right. So looking at the news, they've got a lot of information here, folks. They're talking about stuff with breast cancer down here, diarrhea in dogs. The most current news, one in January, one in December, a majority of subjects in Jaguar Health placebo-controlled pivotal phase 3 on-target trial for prophylaxis of diarrhea in adult cancer patients receiving targeted therapy chose to continue on to stage 2. Diarrhea in adult cancer patients. Holy cow, it's bad enough you got cancer and now you've got chronic diarrhea. What a life. Gee whiz, who do we complain to about that? And the other piece of news that came out in January, issuance of a new patent bolstering IP protection for Jaguar Health in the treatment of congenital diarrhea disorders. So they've actually got a patent on this product. And then they've got some inducement grants here. And I don't know a whole lot about inducement grants. Honestly, I'd have to do some more studying there. There's so much to know, right? And the other thing I wanted to share was over here in the disclosures. Right here, this S313G. These are filed whenever you have a new big investor come into the company. Somebody who buys so many shares, they're now a partner for the most part. They've got voting rights. They own a percentage of the company. And this person was going to the top. EAD Research Trading, they got themselves 9.6% of the company. And did I highlight it down here? Sometimes you can get it all broke down easier because they do list multiples, and sometimes there will be 3 or 4 different purchases. And then sometimes they list it off as, like up here, they've got Research Trading LP. This one is IAD Management. It's still IAD though. This one is Fife Trading, but you find out they're all the same guy under different companies. But on the bottom, it'll bring it all together for you. They bought a total of 4.8 million shares, totaling 9.6% of the company. It's an investment. Somebody's into the company now. That is definitely a big piece of news. And the 8K, it's a lease agreement. If I'm remembering correctly, entry into material definitive agreement for a lease agreement. So they're working on keeping their properties, which sounds like a light piece of news, but you'd be amazed how many people are going into bankruptcy because they can't pay their lease off on their properties and the bill gets real big. And then you lose your property. You can't manufacture your products anymore. You're out of business. So renewing your lease, that's a big piece of news. It may not sound like it, but it's crucial. Think about it. You want to be homeless? No, where you're at is very important. What is the relative volume for JAGX today? She had an increase, maybe, I don't know, 30%, going from 4.6 million up to 5.4 million. Share structure for the company, that's not bad. We got just a little over 50 million shares. No clue what the float is. Won't be any higher than that, right? Market cap, 5.8 million. Financials for JAGS. Are they making money? Hey, a pharmaceutical company that's making money. Most research and development companies are not, and they kind of give the impression that they're research and development, but they've obviously got some products that they're selling. They have been increasing their revenues, been up and down, but this last year was a big jump, going from 4.3 million to almost 12 million. And look at the profit increase there, from 2 million to almost 10 million. Quarterly, yeah, they've been between 3 million and 2 million. Right now, they're at the high end of 2 million and getting to keep most of it as profit, which is real nice, 2.2 million. Balance sheet, they got money in the bank, 3.2 million, so their employees are getting paid. Total assets, 45 million. Total liabilities, just under that, 44 million. So we've got something. We're not broke. We got 1.3 million equity. And I do believe that covers everything, right? Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. So let's go take a look at the chart for JAGX.
Okay, I don't like it, obviously. Look at this. But it,
Trying to get one that had some information and the chart isn't good.
that,
Weird show.
it doesn't look good to me. This is the 4-hour. I'm going to start with the 4-hour, and then I'm going to show you when I show you the next one. I have it queued up. It's the same chart. You're going to get pretty angry. I'm assuming. So basically, the end of November, I'm guessing it was because of this. They did report some earnings. We do have numbers here. That's on TradingView. If you click on these, it'll say E. That's when they had an earnings report. Sometimes there's nothing. So this was positive news. That's why it's in green. So this could have run because of that. We had some support around 25 cents for a little while. Went all the way up to 55 cents. And then as soon as it broke the 200, that was it. It's gone, and it is just downhill ever since.
Yeah, that's not showing any
Completely.
signs of encouragement.
Okay, so I want to show you this. If you want to get angry, John.
Okay.
So I'm going to share this. We've had so many stock splits that it looks like in January of 2021, the stock was worth $1,000. That is not accurate at all.
Nope. Nope. And this I've been talking about, even tweeted about it. Charts don't lie. That's what I've always said. You're looking at a lie right now.
This is a lie. Yeah. So we had a 1 for 75 recently, a 1-3. We've had 1 and 70. Look at all these. There's been so many. Yeah.
Now, there's something to take heed of. If they have them every time they have a split, they then put out more shares because that's how they get the shares back. They got to get out there first. That's too many bloody splits on a regular basis.
Right. So what the chart does is it will adjust as it's going to make it's going to adjust the chart as if these stock splits had already happened. So that's why
Everything,
it
yeah,
appears that it was $1,000. However, that is not
yeah,
accurate.
if there's a split, say a 1 in 10
Everyone
reverse split, on the day they do the split, everything from behind that day gets multiplied by that 10. Rather than have one day multiplied by 10, they bring that day down and multiply everything in the past by 10. So if your high was $3 last year, it's $30 on the chart now. That
right.
sucks. That sucks. So no, this was never $1,000. Don't get your hopes saying, "Oh, this is going to run. Look at how high it was." What a shame. Yeah,
Yeah.
you were right. It got me upset. Thank you very much, Taylor. I appreciate the poke.
Well, I just thought I'd let everyone know because of these stock splits. Look at what has happened. So,
I don't
uh,
like that.
yeah, I'm not a fan. It's probably going to do it again.
Yeah, and the
So
chart isn't showing any
I
hope
can
right
go back
now
to
either.
this.
So if you're
I'll go back
invested
to
in it
this.
right now, I'm sorry for you.
Yeah.
That's all
So
I can say.
so this is back to the 4 hour and we're at 10 cents now. So yeah, so if you're looking at this chart like I did a second ago and you're like, oh, well, this could go back up to $1,000. It never was $1,000 a share. So please don't think that these charts adjust to the way that the shares are
Yeah, I
currently,
don't remember
not
them
in the
always
past.
doing that. I've been trading stocks for 5 years. I've seen reverse splits. It's like just this last 6 months, 10 months, they've started doing that. I don't like it at all.
Yeah. So
It's the
let's
first
move
thing
on.
I look for when I see a real big high. I go check the history. I go
Yeah,
see if there
so
was a
I
reverse
thought I'd
split.
share that.
Thanks.
I know you hate that, but anyway.
Well, I've always said good news is good to know, but bad news is better to know. You
Yeah.
want to know the crap because that's what can hurt you. The good
Mhm.
stuff isn't going to hurt you. So if you didn't know it all, you won't get bothered by that. So I don't think there's anything else to say. I think we've pretty much dumped on that. Nothing personal if you own this stock, folks. We're just telling you what looks like. There just isn't any light at the end of this tunnel right now. All right, I see you got me up. You didn't even tell me.
Sorry
All right,
about that.
we are we are looking at ACXP. This was just requested. Said I have got to look at it. I was trying to get ahead of the game here. Have not done any pre-research on this. So let's jump into a piece of news here. First off, this is on the major exchange. She is just about ready to leave Pennyville. Boop, boop. She's at $4.81. She was up almost 4% today. Anything under $5 is a penny stock. Once it goes outside of that, it literally, by legal definition, is not a penny stock. Now, that doesn't mean I won't look at it, especially if we've been following a stock as it's growing. If it leaves, well, I'm not going to abandon it because it was successful. But just looking at stocks that are near it, over it, nah, they've got to have a reason. But this one's about ready to leave. Good time to look at it. All right, what could I learn about this company? We're looking over at the news. Let's see what we've got. It's all current news, but not a lot of it. We have one piece here from this year. They're going to an annual Morgan Healthcare conference. Anytime you're going to conferences or investor things, these are good. It's boring pieces of news, but you got to remember they're stimulating business, maybe stimulating investors, maybe stimulating buyers for their products or whatever. But we do like to see that. We've got a few pieces of news like that. We've got a few pieces of financials. We've got one here. Accurix announces positive phase 2B results showing 100% of patients who had clinical cure with ibezapolstat also had sustained clinical cure. Don't even know what I'm reading, folks, but it sounds good, right? It sounds good. If it's somewhat a company you're interested in, you're going to want to dive in and read that. Now, chances are it's a recent piece of news you probably already have. Let's see if there's anything here. I haven't peeked back any further. This is the same drug. Everything is going good. It looks like they've only got one drug going on here. Maybe they have more in the pipeline. I don't know. Let's check those disclosures. We've got some Form 4s here. Fingers crossed we see P's. See, you see all these different letters here, G and M. I have no idea what these mean. You can go learn, but sometimes you can just come down here and it'll tell you maybe they're using it for taxes or an incentive or a pay or something like that. But in either case, it's not a purchase. It is not a sale. So I'm not real concerned about it. This one, again, it's an M right there. So I'm not going to even look at it any longer than that. And we'll just peek in at this 8K because you never know. This is what I do take my time with. Material definitive agreements. First paragraph would normally give you a subheading of what's going on. Entered into a sales agreement with AGP Alliance Global Partners to offer and sell from time to time shares for $17 million through their sales agent. All right. Sounds to me like these are shares held by AGP, and this insider are going to sell their shares through the company. I see this happen sometimes. It doesn't add anything to your outstanding share count or make your float bigger, but they are putting more shares on the market because somebody inside is releasing them. That's the way I'm reading this. I may have read it wrong, so do your own due diligence. Let's check out the relative volume. She dropped a little bit today, going from 232,000 shares down to 176,000. Share structure is good. Wow. I think that's the first low float we've seen today. Outstanding share count is just about 14 million. A low float is anything under 10 million legitimately. Look, anything under, this is decent. This is a very nice float. Market cap, wow, 63 million. You know why their market cap is high? Not only because the price is higher than most. Well, yeah, I guess that's really it. Because you figure out the market cap by taking all the shares and multiplying it times the price. That's it. So when you see a company that's got 1 billion shares and the price is 481, and you see a company that's got 13 million shares and the price is 481, well, guess what? One has a huge market cap and looks like it's doing a hell of a lot better than the other company. And the only difference between them is one has way too many shares on the market and they look like the better stock. I don't like market caps. I know people like to use them. There's a lot of different things you can use it for when you're making considerations. But unless everybody has the same amount of shares, it just doesn't seem relevant to me. That's just one man's opinion. Financials. This company got anything coming in? Not on the annual, not on the quarterly. Ow. Well, they got money in the bank. Thank God for that. Over $7 million. And that's virtually all their assets. 7.1 million right there. Liabilities, about half. Thank goodness for that too. So in this company, believe it or not, even though they're not making a dime, we're not in deficit. We've got 3.9 million in shareholder equity. That's surprising. So I don't have anything else here. We could jump over to Twitter. You know, this is not the end all of the information, the OTC markets, especially when you're looking at a major exchange stock. That's not their forte. They do it, but stuff gets missed. Maybe Yahoo Finance, whatever other places you're going, look for information. There may be a heck of a lot more out there than we're looking at right now. And as I said, Twitter, I keep forgetting to look at Twitter. And there are a lot of announcements there. They talk about deals they're going to make that have not hit a news press, that have not been put in a filing because it's not done yet. It's, as Taylor said, buy on the rumor, sell on the news. Lots of rumors coming from Twitter. And as a day trader, we don't care if it's a rumor. We don't care if it's a pump and dump. We don't care if it's bad news. Whatever it is, you're playing the momentum. As day traders, we are not looking for security in the company. You're looking for opportunity. That's the difference between investing and trading. You don't have to have all the information we're going through. But if you get stuck in the company, you'd like to know what you're holding, wouldn't you? So let's take a look at the chart for ACXP.
Okay. So is this the right one? Okay. I thought this was crazy. The lowest of ever the whole time. First of all, there's been no stock splits or any of that. So what you see is the real deal. So I pointed these out just because I thought it was really interesting that we had the all-time low at about 117 on October 2nd. 10 days later, all-time high on October 12th at $8.82.
Now, to me, that is a token sign to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
You
Absolutely.
have both extremes.
That's why I pointed these out.
Oh, yeah, that's the bear waking up, coming out of hibernation. You better
Yep.
find a place to hide. Yeah, that's looking nice now, ain't it?
Yeah, look how flat this 200 is, and this is still on the daily chart. That is nice. I put this in gray just because it wasn't. I wanted to point these out from 117 to 882 within 10 days. That's incredible. So this gray line is kind of it acted as resistance
Yep.
for quite a bit. Broke out, came back down, and now we're holding above that. That's a good sign. I feel like if we can get some kind of catalyst or volume, like we always say, we're gonna pop back up here. This is
I'm
the
really
all-time
liking
high.
that chart.
I like this chart a lot.
The
It's one of
the
my
charts
favorites.
look well. The oscillators were looking real good, and that volatility. For God's sake, I mean, the
Yeah.
dam broke. The water's rushing. You know, it's going to rush for a while. I I'm going to do some more research on this one and find out why she had so much volatility in those extreme moments right there.
Yeah. I mean, that was only 10 days from all-time low to all-time high. So something was going on in October. I'm not sure what.
Everything was going on in October,
It's
bad and good.
wild.
Yeah,
So,
I liking that.
yeah, so let's drop it down to 15 minutes so we can see what happened. This is looking really, really, really nice. Really nice here. I like this.
Yeah, that's she's showing all the signs of growth. She's taking off. She's building. Her flames are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I'm liking it.
Yeah, this has a lot of potential. I would definitely keep this on watch. And it is on the Nasdaq. This is an OTC, obviously because we're in the dollars, but I'm just saying. So this is something that anyone can trade. So
Oh,
if you're
right, right,
interested, yep.
right. If you're like on Webull, you can't trade
Right.
OTC. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, depending on what trading platform you're on, sometimes you can't even see the OTC stocks. They won't
Right,
go up
right,
for you.
sometimes you can't. So, yeah, I'm just letting everyone know this is a Nasdaq stock, so anyone can trade this. If you don't normally trade OTC, you can get in on this.
Well, you know what, folks? I normally have never said this, but thank you for the stocks you brought me today because you surprised me. You had me thinking one thing, and it wasn't. The stocks I couldn't find any information on had brilliant charts. Those were beautiful. Those were breaking out. They were set up nice. They broke out on the right mark. These were ones I would share with you, and I ask you to share with me, Hot Stocks. Thank you. Brilliant there, folks. I don't mind you bringing me stocks that you're concerned with, but if we want to make money together, we've got to pool our energies together. Everybody bring a hot stock. Somebody's going to see something they like, and I've got a few now because of you folks. So thank you very much. I have had some fun today. It started off differently than I thought it was going to, but it really ended nicely. You guys made this show a success. I appreciate it. And thank you, Taylor. I appreciate you pointing out things that I wouldn't point out. That's why you're here, to give a different perspective. Cisco and Ebert, right?
Right.
Right. We got to argue more often. People don't like this nicey nice stuff. They want to see blood.
Well,
Bruising.
that's why I wanted to show you the one I knew you'd hate, so
Oh, you did good. You did get up there. Folks, we are a little after 5 now. I see we've got other requests here. AQST. I just covered that recently. Loading up on it. Good for you. Ilis, I see you brought Ilis up. Ilis should be being loved, folks. You know she's working hard. She's making deals. She's got spin outs. She's got mergers. She's got acquisitions. She's got dividends. She has got every single catalyst, and not just one. She's got multiple spin outs, multiple acquisitions, and the company themselves are considering going to the NASDAQ by invitation. And look at the chart. It looks pathetic. There's no reason for that. We're looking for the floor. But folks, this is a company I believe in. I don't care what others say. Most say good things. To me, I think it's an outstanding company. It's a great opportunity, especially for the long run. They deal with fire, folks. Fire is never going to go out of style. Doesn't matter what the economy is. You're going to put the fire out. You don't get the choice, right? So it's a steady business. Snickeroo, Michael Anthony. Hello, Michael. PED and JOB both have no debt with great fundamentals. Let me pass that on. Take some notes here, folks. I bought some SoFi. Michael Anthony, you're a busy trader, aren't you? Belmore, you are welcome, hon. Doc P, SNPW ran 345 with a billion share float. CEO is bestie with U.S. Cabinet Secretary. Oh, so sometimes it's not what they're doing, it's who they know, who they're hobnobbing with. Recently here, we have seen a lot of people in the government getting into OTC stocks. Pelosi, some other people. And there could be something to that. I don't normally follow big people, but if it's a catalyst, it's a catalyst. I think that covers all of our. No, God, there's even more. Brian, hello, Brian. They said they have a possible buyer. AXCP. Good. There's some more information for you, folks. SNPW is already up 500%. Yeah, we noticed. Thank you, folks, for showing up. I do appreciate the stocks you brought me. Now that you know what game plan we're on, I'm looking forward to the next show. Taylor, you're going to be here next week, hon?
Of course.
Of course. That's what I was hoping for. I'll be here too with the beard. Can't shave it now. You wouldn't recognize me without it. We'll see you next week, folks. Thursday, 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I know. I got to do my Home Alone impression. I didn't turn it off.